Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ali's Digger Diary.
In this episode, hopefully, I'll have that counterweight removed. Why do I need to remove the counterweight? Well, that is because I've got an intermittent fault for that actuator there. The fault is intermittent, and that actuator is the exhaust brake actuator. Tested it on site. The actuator appears to be alright. So it must be a fault with the wiring. And that wiring goes along there and then down the back of there where the ECU lives. And to do any testing properly, we need to be in at the ECU plugs. And that is very easily achievable with the counterweight attached. Now, on later models of the 140 LCR-5, that Doosan badge there, that's just a big plate held on with 6 bolts, and when you remove that plate there's actually a hole in the counterweight where you can get to the ECU. But this is an early machine. It is a 2018 and I'm pretty confident that those holes in the back of the counterweight aren't present. I'm just debating what to do, whether to try and find space in the workshop and do it, or whether just to push on outside and do it. The track frame has been dug out before transport, but I've got a long way to track it and it will make a mess. As a bit of mud just falls off the tracks. Also, the roof of the workshop isn't particularly high, so might make things difficult to lift off. Oh, I don't know. I'm cold at the minute, so my motivation for working outside is like that. So before I start ripping, you can only run this test with the machine switched off, well, with the engine switched off. What I've just done is a air system motor valve verification test. So it tests the EGR motor actuator and it tests the exhaust back pressure actuator. And look, service test successful. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that the motor is okay. It's just when the machine's working there's a bad connection. Either a broken wire or a loose pin or a dodgy ECU. So there's not an awful lot to remove to get the counterweight off. We've got 4 big bolts. There, and there. That's all that holds the counterweight to the machine. The rest is all just what's attached to the counterweight that we need to remove. So underneath here there's a plug for the camera and the work light. We just need to remove the bonnet, and there's like an intermediate bonnet. Remove that plate. Remove the bonnet just so it doesn't catch when we lift it up. And the same with the exhaust cover. And then we use them monkey holes. There's normally rubber caps to protect the threads. So not only am I going to need a couple of M30 lifting eyes, I'm also going to need an M30 tap. I'll speak to the customer. I've just obviously got this door open. I've noticed that we've got a bit of an engine oil leak just starting to happen, and that is coming from up here. But these pipes are rock hard just from the heat. They go onto the back of the engine as well. And again, if one of these pipes, was to go pop, you need to remove the counterweight to be able to get those pipe ends. So it might be worth mentioning to the customer that while we've got this counterweight off, just replacing these pipes. I mean, they've done 10,000 hours, so probably wouldn't be a bad shout. Guarantee you put the counterweight back on 6 months time, it's got a engine oil leak, it's pouring out, and it's going to be one of them pipes, knowing my luck. Anyway, Yeah, I'll start taking covers off then, and I'm gonna get that mini digger there. That's our demonstrator DX19. I'll use that to crack the counterweight bolts because they'll be FT like. There you go, a dozen bolts later, maybe less than 20 anyway. We've got all them covers off. I've got the belly plate off down here, and that plug at the top, you can't really see it, but I need to disconnect that. To either that, I take 3 or 4 P clips off. To that, I take 3 or 4 P clips off to get the wiring line dropped down, and then just disconnect the camera. So this is the easier way. Right, we're all disconnected. We are literally just 4 bolts away from being able to lift the counterweight off now. It doesn't take an awful lot. I'm saying that having not yet found out if these bolts are going to come out without a fight. They are generally tight, and have a good dab of Loctite on them as well. And I have seen the bolts actually snap into the counterweight, which is not a result that we're after. Having been underneath there taking that plug off, I've noticed at the other end of these pipes here, these engine oil feed pipes, it's damp around there as well, so I definitely think it'll be worth replacing those engine oil remote filter pipes. Right, so I've got my impact gun onto the counterweight bolt and the links. There we go. I only turned it from here to here, and I did it at idle, so they're maybe not just as tight as I thought they would be. I'll maybe try the next one by hand. Whew. Okay, these two here, that one there and the one there, they are FT. That one there are cracked off by hand. So that one's cracked, that one's cracked. Need that one and the one next door to it. That'll be a job for the little dig. There we go, look. Just idling. No drama, boys. Right, one more left to do. Well, considering I did that on my own, that's gone remarkably well. We're all bolts of free now. So I need to go to Tommy Graham's now, Kingstown. Go and get some lifting aids. I have seen lads put straps around here, up here, but we'll just have to be careful. We'll have to be careful when we're lifting it, because we've only got about an inch here before we're hitting that. We don't need to lift it up, we just need to take the weight and then walk it back the way. It's one thing getting them off, like putting them back on, that's definitely a 2-man job. But I'm sure there'll be somebody willing to sit on a forklift for me while we put it back on. That's us pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to pack my tools up. I think I'm going to use the yard forklift. It's Class Scorpion 7050, which I think means it'll lift up to 7 meters, and its capacity is 5 ton. I think that counterweight there is somewhere in the region of 3.5 to 4 ton. They're quite dense, these zero tail swing ones, for obvious reasons. I think that counterweight will be heavier than that one on the 14 ton. I think they're more close to the mark of 2.5 ton. But the nice thing about the conventional machines, and I don't know why the zero tail swings aren't the same, but come with lifting eyes. You just put your hook straight onto there. Don't know why it isn't a thing with the zero tail swings. None of the zero tail swings have lifting eyes. You have to screw them in. Maybe just to keep the shape of the machine a bit tidy, but yes, anyway, for a machine where you need to take the counterweight off to get stuff around the back of the engine, it's not equipped for that. So I've got part of my jigsaw. I've got a couple of M30 bolts. Might have to make some lifting eyes. I've got another spot I'm going to go and try there now, but I thought I'll just grab them while I can. And I've got a big tap to clean them holes out. So, hey, it won't be the first time I've made lifting eyes and taken a counterweight off. Like, don't know what the kind of, whether it's kind of I don't know how to describe it really, whether it's a good idea or not, but we'll see. If I need to, then I will, and it'll be me that's around that counterweight anyway, so I'll know to stand back when it is up in the air. All right. Well, my sketchy welding isn't going to be put to the test today. Mackenzie's sorted us out. We had 2 on the shelf, not a problem. Look at them beasts. Yeah, I will give K&S Mackenzie's a shout out, and possibly should have been my first port of call. Yeah, but I've never been, it's another spot where they never let you down. Like, they don't, or they haven't with me anyway. Very friendly. If you're in the local area and you need any sort of out, really, it's one of them spots that you go to and they've just got everything. So I'll give these lot a look up. K&S Mackenzie's. Do add blue as well, look. I love that blue. So we're back. Just thinking there with these bolts, once I've finished the job, just run these bolts in to save the threads for the next time anybody wants to take the counterweight off, and it'll save the threads, won't it? Right, I'll get cracking. A bit of magic spray and a bit of perseverance and adjustable probably. Get these holes cleaned out. I was tapping this hole out and I was like, oh no, my lifting eye's not going to be able to screw in for this, but I've got it in. Right, I've just got the other side to do. And then I would be laughing like, well, I'll have to go and find a pilot for a forklift next. Right then, lifting eyes are in place. 2 out of 4 bolts removed. Decent chunky things, aren't they? Look. I've rattled the other 2 bolts just so I know they're going to shift. So we'll get it hung onto a forklift and take it off. Just seen the forklift heading that way though, so it's in use at the minute. So I think I'm going to have a bite of lunch. It's 12:15, so I might as well stop now before I get too into it. Lunchtime. Okay, I've got some chains. They should be fit to lift the counterweight. Max capacity of this, according to the load chart, is 4,900 kilograms, so should be good to go. What I'm going to do first is just take the weight and then I'll rattle out the 2 bolts, see what happens. Right, we've got it. Right, I'll whiz these bolts out now. Yeah, I'm going to have a final inspection, make sure there's nothing attached to this counterweight that I've forgotten about. We're all good in there. This door is going to come with the counterweight. Cool. I'll check in here. We're looking good. Okay. What you're about to see next might be good or bad, we shall see. Might just move that mirror. It's already broken, but could do without any more bad luck. Looking good. The big gap. Forklift's handling it, as long as one of them tyres doesn't go bang. Yes. Right, well, where do we need to be now? Do we need to be up or down or where? I think we can ease up now. Ever so slightly. I'd like to do this on like a tripod, but at the minute all my camera recording gear is missing. Missing in action. Keep leaving stuff in places where I shouldn't, like. So, right, keep going a bit more. We're starting to see a bit more now, look. I think we are clear now, just to go right the way back. Yeah, I'm just being sensible, just doing little tiny movements. If I'm not sure about anything, just jumping off and checking it. It will be a totally different story putting this back on, believe me. Something to watch. I'm not going to go under the counterweight, alright? You're not seeing me under the counterweight. I am holding my phone. You can see here, they are shims. They're normally glued to the counterweight, so if I can be gentle, keep them glued to the counterweight, then that'll be ideal. There's my plug there. When I set it down, that plug there, that's my wiring for the camera and light. But no, we're looking good. Right, we're just going to roll back now. That's a nice little handbrake switch, look. I'm just going to let the slope of the yard roll us back nice and quietly. Just go steady, there's no need to rush about. Lovely. Right, that's probably far enough now. We'll let her down. Lovely control from the joysticks on these. I do appreciate that. Oh, now then, what did I say about that plug? Watch that plug, Al. Let's just jump out. Now that it's towards the ground, we'll tuck that plug up out the way. So there we go, there is definitely no hole in the counterweight on this one. That's how much it weighs. Not nearly as much as I thought, but you're better to be, what's the word? Oh, prepared. Prepared is the word. Ah, now then. I've just spotted this. That's just a blanking plug. Good. I have managed to not see that. That's the only casualty, that's fine. We can sort that. We can sort that. There's a bolt that's fallen out of there somewhere. I wonder where that lived. There we go, we'll have a look at this in a minute or two. Okay then, I've got that plug shoved back in there and tucked out the way for when I put it back on. In here then, in here. This plug here I need to get to. This here is the ECU, so we've got the machine side of it, and then we've got the engine side of it. There's one or two things that will come straight through and up to the after treatment side, because we've got the AdBlue pump down at that far corner over there. I'll be able to show you the electric lift pump that I always change. I've done 3 or 4 of these electric lift pumps now, and you've never really been able to see what it is that I'm changing, but that is the electric lift pump on one of these. I have managed to change one of these electric lift pumps on a zero tail swing without removing the counterweight, but look how easy it is to do now. And it's these bloomin' fast coupling pipes that are tinker to get done. Back onto the subject of these oil pipes, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to change these now, because the P-clip's gone. It's allowed this pipe to sit down, and oh, there's a bit of damage in there, look. So that's about 1,000 hours off rubbing through and spewing engine oil everywhere. And these pipes, like I say, they're absolutely rock hard. They'll be a fight even now just to pull out of there, guarantee it. So I'll take some of this out of my way so I can get onto this plug, unplug it, and we'll do some continuity testing between the ECU and the exhaust brake actuator. Okay, I'm just having a general look over it from this perspective, because it's not often I get to see this machine in this perspective, and I sent a couple of pictures of the rubbed pipe here to the customer, and he says just whatever it needs, crack on and do it while it's in. I've just noticed here again it's rubbed against that block, can you see? So new pipes, we'll get them, new P-clips, we'll get them. Let's have a look at this engine oil filter, because I don't think it's just this pipe that's leaking. There seems to be something on the top of there that's damp, look. So we'll sort all that out. And then here, I've done one of these before with the counterweight on, and it's no fun. Like, these are your heater hoses going to your cab. And again, this P-clip's just vibrated and snapped. So I'm gonna wrap them up good and proper and put a fresh P-clip on. Remember, this machine's done just shy of 10,000 hours. So it's probably not a bad idea when you when you get to 10,000 hours, just take it back to your yard over Christmas time, pull the counterweight off them, and just have a right good square up, I think is the moral of this story, isn't it? Look. Anyway, I'm going to resume, look at that as well, look. It's been rubbing. It's not got through to any wiring like, but that's something that has been rubbing on there like that. Has it damaged that pipe? No, it hasn't damaged the braiding on this pipe. Yeah, the more I look, the more I see bits and pieces, so yeah, he said whatever it needs, just do, but I'm not using that as a blank check to start just ripping everything apart and rebuilding it, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to make a start on, or pick up from where we left off last time we were doing this troubleshooting manual. So what it got us to do was put a jumper wire, disconnect the exhaust brake motor, put a jumper wire between pin number 6 and pin number 4, and the outcome, where's the outcome? Yeah, the outcome was a -5 diagnostic code was active with the jumper installed, so it tells you to proceed to step 5. And this is where we got to. It says check wiring for an open circuit, so we need to turn the key switch to the off position, disconnect the P2 connector from the ECU and the suspect valve, and use a multimeter to measure the resistance between pin number 41 and 4 and pin number 2 and pin number 49. So I've got one end of my multimeter on pin number 4, so we are after pin number 41, which is here. Continuity and no resistance. We've got pin number 49 now. Right, pin number 6 and pin number 49, which as it goes is right next door. That one there, 41. That one there. Continuity, so at this very moment in time we have got good continuity and everything is okay. Mint that, innit? Really, really good. What we were wanting, but the fault isn't active all the time, is it? We need to see a broken wire. So the result is all measured resistances are less than 2 ohms. Contact the dealer solutions network. Does anybody have a number for them? Nah. What I want to do now is I want to put my own wire in from the ECU to the connector for the exhaust brake and repeat the previous step where I put a jumper wire in, and that would tell us if the fault is in the harness or the ECU. It will. So I'm going to repeat the test that I did the other week there when I was doing the jumping from pin 4 to 6, expecting a -6 error code. And I'm going to minus out this wiring now, and I've put my probes into the back of the ECU plug, look. So we should get the -6 code, and that would tell me that there is a fault in here, pretty sure. So we're going to repeat this step here, number 4. Turn the key switch to the off position, disconnect the connector to the suspect valve, which we've done. Fabricate a jumper wire at least 6 inches long, which I've got. Install the jumper wire between the signal and return pins on the connector for the suspect valve to create a short circuit. So our signal and return is pin number 6 and pin number 4, which is pin number 49 and 41. So that's what we've done. We've gone with our probes into the back of the ECU plug. So essentially, without, I suppose I could have removed the ECU, no. I've got this in place here. So we're not testing the wire into the ECU, we're just making sure that we get a similar result with the ECU. So the outcome of this, a -6 code is active when the jumper wire is installed. That's what I think we want, because otherwise it would point towards the ECU. Last time a -5 code is active with the jumper wire installed, and that's basically telling us to call the dealer Network Solutions after that. So we have an error code. Let's see what the error code is. There we go then, we have a -6 error code now. Voltage above normal. Yes, -6 code is active just now, which is what we weren't getting with the wiring. So we'll reconfirm now. I'm gonna do the same test, only at the plug end of the actuator, and I think it'll come back with a -5 code. So pull them out of there. 1, 2. And install this into 4 and 6 like that. Turn the ignition on. Can't beat radio 2, can you? Engine warning, failure information, real time. Oh, we've got a -6 code again. It's definitely -5, wasn't it? I'm 100% sure it was, like. If that's the case, it's telling me the exhaust brake actuator is to replace. Definitely, I'm 100% sure. I'm going to look back at the video now. Yep, I double checked. It was definitely an 05 code. So, we've got an 06 code today. I'm just going to leave the machine switched off for 10 minutes, let everything reset, let everything go back to normal, and then we'll check again. Right, it's adamant it's an 06 code today. Very strange that, like. Very, very strange. Well, I suppose the wiring only comes from here, through here, and down to here, so we'll just take some of these covers off and have a visual inspection, shall we? Best thing I can do, isn't it? Like I say, it passed its actuator test quite happily. Saying that, there is a bit of loom, isn't there, from the actuator to the plug where it goes to, look. But this was definitely an 05 code. Definitely, problems in the loom. What do you do, like? Okay, I've had a cup of tea, I've had to think about what I'm going to do, and the action I am going to take is I'm going to replace the yellow and white wire from the ECU up to the exhaust brake actuator. That way, when this machine is finished and it goes back to site, if this intermittent fault does come back, then it has to be the actuator. 2 reasons why I'm not going to order an actuator when I'm not 100% sure it is the actuator. First reason is it is expensive. It's an expensive part to order and fit on a hunch that it might be that. Second reason is, if I fit the actuator now, this machine goes back to site and this intermittent problem comes back, then I won't be able to have access to these wires to replace them. So while the machine's in the yard, while I've got it here, I'm going to replace all of this. That is the plan. That is the plan. I haven't got those ECU pins, unfortunately. It is a Deutsch plugs type, but it's a smaller pin type. So I am going to get some from Cumbria Autos in the morning. Now, what I do have is the gauge panel. That machine that I was at last week, and I diagnosed the gauge panel being bad. We sent that to a tele repair shop, retail, and they found a burnt out chip in there or something, and they have replaced it, and they are confident that the screen will now work. However, that is an hour and a half out west for me, and I've got a machine here that I can plug the new screen into. So I'm going to plug the new screen into this, check that it works before I drive all the way out west in the morning. Alright then, it's only 3 screws to pull that panel off, you see, and 2 plugs. I can, instead of driving all the way out west, I can just try it here, and it's not a wasted journey tomorrow. Right, still dead, look. Still dead. There you go, you see. That is a shame. That is a shame. At least I know it's definitely the screen anyway, because I was wondering whether it was the VCU, but no, it's definitely the screen. Definitely the screen. Oh, that's sad news to the customer. That's going to be a new one now. I've tried everything to get around buying him a new screen. Just seen myself with my hood up. Look like a right naughty Ned up to no good. Pinching diesel. I'm damp, I'm cold, and I've had my fill for the day today. Giving people bad news. Things not being as straightforward as you thought they were going to be. It's one of them days in the office, isn't it? But I think I'm doing the right thing. There's a storm coming in tonight, apparently. Don't ask me what it's called. But I better take that down off the roof, then it's not flung all over the parish into my little impact gun over there. Friday morning at last. We're currently in the middle of storm, hurricane, cyclone, major weather event, Owen, Ewan, something like that, innit? Yes, severe weather warning outside, so you must be careful for flying debris and stuff. I'm going to put the machine in the workshop. I'm going to put that indoors. I don't want to work out there. Shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to if I don't want to. So I'm not going to. I'll just nip around and make sure there's space first. If there's no space, I'll have to find somewhere else, but I'm not climbing on out here. Get blown away. It's wild, look, there's doors opening and closing on their own. There's a wheelie bin over there just off for a ride out. Bonkers! It is windy, like noticeably. You know when you get these yellow storm warnings and it's a bit like, don't know what all the fuss is about. It's pretty windy. It is. There's only a set of butterfly mowers getting built up in there, so there's space for a digger. I don't think I'll leave it in there over the weekend. I'll pull it back outside. I just want to be out of the weather. Right, T&T's just delivered. I was talking to the driver actually, and there's they're not doing any runs up through the borders today because of the weather. Now if these pipes didn't turn up that I ordered yesterday, these engine oil pipes and bits like that, that pipe's finally turned up for that loading shovel. You know, that flexi pipe with the crack in it? That's up in Kelso. So I won't be doing that one today. So, I'll get what I need out of here. There's all sorts in here. To be fair, I need everything apart from the element filter by the look of it. Right, I'm in. Woohoo! Now it is noisy in here because those metal roller shutter doors just go clank, clank, clank. But we'll just work away. We'll be inside, we'll be happy. So I'm going to make a start. I'll do the engine oil pipes first. We've got an engine oil leak on the top of this filter head here as well, look. So we'll have a look into that, see why that's doing that. Once I've got the pipes off. And then you'll notice how it's all damp down the side of the engine here. And I thought, have we got a sump gasket away? But in actual fact, this breather pipe here, and it goes onto the rock cover, that's rubbed through, and you can see that it's damp up here as well. And that's because it's rubbed through, probably on that steel pipe that comes around here. So we'll change that out as well. I've got a fresh one of them. Okay, I've got the two pipes off, look. Woo! Goes without saying that I'll replace these O-rings on here. We've had to stop work. He looks after us, does Darren, look. Sausage roll. We'll have our 10 o'clocks then. Okay, well, I've got a chance. I've just cleaned all this up, so I'll put my bungs in there so we don't get any brake cleaner going into there. Need a couple of O-rings. They don't look the same, do they? Always bite your O-rings. Make sure the rubber's hard. Got to be one of them. It's probably more likely to be this one. There we go. No, that is far too big. Protrudes too much. That door's gonna blow in soon and I'll be stuck in here all day. I don't know if it's that one, is it that one? There we go. That's perfect, that. I just need another one of them. So when you look at the profile of these O-rings, they look very square, don't they? That's not a special square O-ring, I mean that's just breaking up in my fingers, look. They would have been round, but obviously they've been compressed for at least 9,500, 10,000 hours. So it will naturally make them look square because that is machined square, that in there. But they are round O-rings. They do feel very, very hard. Again, that is just because they are baked for the last 9,000 hours. Total junk. We'll have them replaced. Do the same up at this end, but I'm gonna change the engine oil and the filter. Might as well while I'm on. And we'll pull that filter head off and discover why that's leaking. Right then, I think now I've got this cleaned up. Before it was very wet around this here, which is where you would have a sensor perhaps for blockage lights, something like that maybe. I'm going to take that out and see if there's an O-ring behind there that I can change, because it was all damp in this little cup here and clean. Normally when you've got an oil leak and you've got lots of muck stuck to everything, but there's a clean area that generally points in the direction of where to look. Yeah, there you go, look. That one actually had a split in it. God, that is blooming irritating, you have no idea. Right, let's change some O-rings on here and then get these steel pipes, the new pipes fitted. Right, we're a lot later in the day since you last saw me. I've been on the phone for an hour and a half to somebody. Got him sorted out, so that's good. Anyway, whoever designs all these stupid ideas, these blooming clips to pop this pipe off, what a job. And even putting it back on again. That's all on. New oil feed pipes on. Suppose we better put some engine oil and a filter back on it, eh? Okay, we're running. We'll let it warm up now, obviously. Make sure I've got no engine oil leaks. while I'm doing that, I'll have a tidy up. Right, I think we're all good. I'll just phone Cumbria Autos then and see if they've got the pins in for the ECU. And if they do, then I'll refresh the wiring for that exhaust brake actuator. And I'll be ready to put the counterweight on. Probably not going to get to the counterweight point today. If I want to run the wiring, if I can, through all the conduit, then it's less chance of rubbing on something. So, I'm gonna have to call it a day today. I've got big holes in my roof at home. Mint. Don't even know where to start, like. Tried phoning a roofer. You'd never believe it, but he is pretty busy at the minute. Tried phoning insurance. Why is it so difficult to find a phone number for insurance to make a claim? They want you to use a blooming app and take videos and I just want to speak to a body on the end of the phone. Anyway, I've got all this mess to sort out, so I'm gonna knock off for the day because, well, it is 3:30 now. So yeah, thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you all in the next one.